All right, so I just got back from watching The Unbreakable Boy, the latest film from director John Gunn, I believe is his name. No relation to James Gunn, even though they have the same last name. He is the director of Ordinary Angels, which I was quite pleasantly surprised by. That came out last year. I wasn't expecting much, and I enjoyed it quite a bit. I don't remember how glowing my review was, but over time I've appreciated that movie a lot more. And there are certain scenes of that movie that I still think about even today, even though that movie came out a year ago, and I've seen lots of movies in that time. But yeah, I don't know, that movie really stuck with me. So, this when I'm watching the trailers for this movie, it seemed a bit more of a story that I've seen many times before. I mean, there was even a story about a father struggling to raise his autistic son last year called Ezra. So this one is a bit more of a family-friendly version of the same story. It's also based off of a true story. Ezra, I believe, was entirely fictional, considering the dad basically kidnapped his child and drove him across America. That's not super realistic. This movie, The Unbreakable Boy, is grounded in reality. The trailers seemed a bit more basic. The story is something that I've seen before, but hey, the director, he's made a good movie before, so I'll give it a shot. Unfortunately, I do not think it is as good as Ordinary Angels. However, if you watch the trailer and you think to yourself, oh, that seems pretty interesting, I'll watch that movie. You're going to get exactly what you're expecting, and if you want what you're expecting, then that's good. I was hoping for something that was a little bit more poignant, a little bit more, that had a little bit extra oomph, something to not necessarily surprise me, but I was hoping this movie had a bit more to say than what it does. Not that the message of this movie and the point it's trying to make is bad by any stretch of the imagination. It's just something that for me, seeing a lot of stories and movies and, even just talking to people in real life, this is something that is pretty basic. And the entire time I was watching this movie, I was like, okay, why does this movie exist? I get it. It's an inspiring story of, overcoming challenges and stuff like that. But it seemed kind of like, how is this different? What makes this story more remarkable than the hundreds, if not thousands, of similar stories happening across the world? Why is this the one that got a movie? And I'm guessing there was a book as well. I don't know. I haven't done my research, but there's probably a book, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, I didn't understand what made this specific story so special. That being said, it's not awful. The performances are all very good. I forget the name of the actress that plays the mom, the wife, but I feel she's very underrated in this movie. I feel like everyone's going to focus on Zachary Levi, who plays the dad, and stuff like that, and he is the main character, but I don't feel like as enough people are going to talk about her. I think she was very good in this movie with the role she was given. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of don't have a big opinion on this movie. Frankly, it was so kind of a generic drama, cliche dialogue, cliche scenes. I could almost quote the movie, and I'd never seen it before. But characters would start speaking, and I'd seen this type of story so many times. I knew exactly what they were going to say. And not that just because you can predict a movie doesn't mean it's bad, but it does mean it wasn't very interesting. And I wasn't very interested in most of this movie. I was quite bored throughout the, halfway through the second, no, like 3/4 through the movie. I was out. I was like, okay, let's wrap this up. I know where this is going. And it just felt like it dragged, even though it was only an hour and 49 minutes. It's not that long of a movie. To me, it felt very long. And so that says something, in my opinion, about the overall entertainment value of this film. So I don't necessarily see this as a theater movie unless you and someone you know really like these kind of stories, or maybe you've read the book. Then I would say it's worth going to the theater if these are the types of movies you like to watch. Or if you don't want to spend the theater money, but you still like these stories, I'd say it's definitely worth maybe renting or waiting until it's on streaming. But if you're not a big drama fan and you are only interested in these types of stories, if there's something new or fresh added to it, I would say this is not that movie, and you could just go ahead and skip it. So yeah, those are my thoughts on The Unbreakable Boy.